Okay, so for anyone interested, um, I no longer play Yu-Gi-Oh. I no longer live in the UK. I am now a teacher in China. How did this all happen? Well, let's get into that. So, Yu-Gi-Oh became less and less interesting to me, um, just because I mainly wanted a game where I could like show that I was good at it, rather than show that I was lucky or that I paid a bunch. But then again, like paying a bunch isn't like too bad of a thing. Like I want to be known as good for being a skillful player, which that was me. That's all I wanted, and that's why I played like shitholes religiously and Necros a bunch and just dumb stuff like worms. Like you had to be good to do well, and like when Pepe came out, I actually had so much fun with that. Like you have no idea how it is when your favorite deck is the best deck and you can play it just forever. Well, not forever, but that deck died so quickly. Oh. So after that, like my interest started to decline. I didn't feel like there was any safe investments in the game, and I don't know. People just became like slightly more annoying. I had to get out, and so I stopped like playing competitively after the Euros like last year or something, and then that like I just haven't really played since. So it's been like a year or something where I haven't actually played any Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's quite something. Well, I've played some Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's mostly just like GOAT format. Like I'll still play GOAT format like wherever I can, if I can. Oh my goodness, I have to find places that will let me play it in China. um, yeah, so that's basically the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. Like I lost interest. Linked summoning seems pretty cool. I've heard good things about it. About like it there being like a new layer of skill and thinking involved with the game, which always sounds pretty good to me. So I might like revisit it online and just only online. But I don't know. I'll probably watch a few games on like Dueling Book if that's still around until that goes. Oh. But I think that's about it for like the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. Like I don't have much to talk about it. Just like I lost interest and I'm not going to be doing like a ton more on it. So what else is there to talk about? Like China, I guess. Like I've been here for 2 months, so I guess it's like, why am I in China? Well, I'm in China because I've wanted to visit for a very long time, and well, I'm here for work. I'm working as a teacher. I'm teaching kids and teens how to speak English because, let's face it, if you want a lazy, easy job in a different country where a company will pay for your flights and your visa, teach English wherever. And that's basically how I got to China. For a lot of struggle, though. There was a lot of struggle and a lot of pain involved. And, you have to stick through it, and then you'll be able to get there. Like the company that I'm with, they actually paid for my flight, paid for my visa, sort of. Well, I paid for like the original visa to get into the country, and then they were like, okay, here's your money back. And then they paid for like my updated visa, which allows me to come and go as much as I please, which is fantastic. So I can actually leave China if I want to, and then come back, and I won't need to like buy many visas just to do that, because it's a very controlled place. Man. So that's like why I'm here. Like I'm here to teach, which is actually like two things I wanted to do most in life: be a teacher and visit China. So now I'm living in China for a year and maybe more. I'm going to be a teacher for the entire time. So I've got about like 10 more months at a minimum, I guess. The people at actually in China are the nicest people I've really ever met. Um, One of the first times I was riding my bike to work, a razor blade burst my back in a tube, and I didn't know. I still don't know much Chinese, really, but like I knew how to say hello and help. I know how to say a bunch more, but like I knew how to say those two. And then I got like my phone out, and I was like, oh, how do I say this in Chinese? And I'm just like, ni hao, bang mao, which is hello, help. And then like some people, like one guy just looked at me and was like speaking Chinese to me, and I was like, which is I don't understand. And you know, I just like dismissed it. Like I went away, he went away, and then like I said to some other people like, oh, you know, ni hao, bang mao, and showed them my phone, and they were like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. And they spoke English to me, and I was like, yes. They basically like offered to call like a garage place to pick me up and like fix my bike for me at the road, which was really, really lovely. But because I was on my way to work, I called my boss up and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be a bit late because this has happened, and this is not great. But my boss like managed to call someone. They ripped me off. I know they did. Like I paid like 300, almost 300 kwai just to like get a new inner tube, and it's so ridiculous because it shouldn't cost that much. It really shouldn't. To put this into perspective, like I don't know, like 8 English pounds are like is 1 kwai. So. Is that true? I don't know. I think it is. So like 1 kwai is like 8 English. No, 8 English. No, that's not. That's the other way around. Like 8 kwai is like 1 English pound. Oh my goodness! Could you imagine? Like, here's 1 kwai. That's 8 pounds. Crazy. Crazy. No, so yeah, like 1 pound is like 8 kwai. So like 300 pounds. I mean, it's not like a lot in like the UK, but like it's more than it should be. So it's not cool, but they try to rip you off because I'm white. But they rip off foreigners all the time, and I try to. And I didn't want to argue, and I didn't know how to. And I was just like, I can't be bothered. I'll just pay. And they gave me my tire, and I was like, what do I do with this? And they gave me a bag to put it in, so I like took it to work with me, and I was like, hello everyone, I am very late. And they were like, why are you so late? And I was like, yeah, so here is my tire. It is dead. But other than that, like, if I ever need like help with directions, I normally just, sometimes I'll use like the Beijing accent, sometimes I won't. What I mean by Beijing accent is like random R's in words. Like, the Chinese word for where is nali. But in Beijing, where I currently live, it's, you can just say nar. Which is like so... So it gets like a bit awkward when someone's like trying to say something like... anything that like ends in R normally, like 2 is like R. Or 20 is like arshi. But like when they like throw in like the Beijing accent, like all the R's, it's just like, what? It's hard to understand sometimes, mainly because I'm still very new to Chinese language. But yeah, it's still very helpful because like when I'm like, this place Nali or Nar, I've never actually said Nar to anyone, so I'm just like, so I show them like an address in Chinese, I'm like, Nali, and I point like directions, and they're like, oh, yes, or no. They don't say yes or no. They say like the Chinese equivalent, like doi or bu, or sometimes male, but they would never say male for that. There's no like direct like no or yes in Chinese. Doi is more like correct, and male is like, male's no in some contexts, but bu is like the more general no. the boo is also like a negative, like how is good or how is not good. It's great, the line. So yeah, like Chinese people are very helpful. I've never had like I actually haven't had like a bad experience with like a Chinese person like, talking to them. If I ever go to a shop, this is like something that slightly annoys me. Like if I go to a shop, like someone will like come out from nowhere and be like, "Ni hao," which is just like hello, like one, which is welcome, welcome. And they'll follow me around and tell me stuff in Chinese at anything I stop at and look at. And I'm like, oh yes, cool. Because they think I'm interested in it and I want to buy it, so they like tell me about it, even if I'm not interested or I'm just looking. I find it slightly annoying, but it's just like, it's fine. It's like when you go into like any like shop in like the UK or America and you get like the assistant come up and say, hello, can I help you? And you're like, no, I'm just looking. But instead of them saying okay and walking away, they kind of follow you around. But you can't really talk to them because they speak a different language. But that's really just kind of fine. The next thing I guess to talk about is like the food, I suppose. The food is amazing. Oh my goodness, I've never had so many good meals in my life. Like, I don't think I've had, like, okay, I've had like one meal, and that was like my own fault. Because I can't read like a lot of Chinese, so like the few things I can read, I kind of lean towards. Like, if I am ever like getting tea, I can recognize oolong tea or oolong tea, and like I'll constantly get that because I'm like, I can read this. So one time I ordered duck. At least I thought it was duck. It was duck. But it was duck organs, and I had no idea. And I was like complaining to people like, this is the driest duck I've ever had. And one of my Chinese friends was like, that's because it's organs. And I'm there like, oh, whoops. But it was just so dry that I had to like drink after every bite, and I put like rice in my mouth just to like make it more like easier to just chew and digest. Oh man. But that's like the worst meal I had, taste-wise at least. the actual worst meal I've had currently gave me Beijing belly, which is just like an upset stomach. It made me have stomach cramps and like diarrhea all night, and then like I threw up in the morning. I went to work, I threw up going on the way to work on the metro, which is like the underground train. Oh man, I've never seen so many seats just empty up. It's really fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, like I threw up twice, and then I went in and I had like 2 hours of teaching. My mentor observed me and wrote to me like, what do you think of the teachers and students' energy levels? And I'm like, I feel like garbage right now. Like, I'm so bad. I've thrown up twice. I've had stomach cramps all night. My energy level should be as low as you think it is right now. And then like I just handed it back, and then I like had a nap in the school, had some medicine, and then just felt much better. Yeah. But one thing like the Chinese people like do a lot, this is really weird for me, anytime you're ill or have any illness, anytime you're like ill or you don't feel so well, they'll say, have some hot water. Like hot water is this magical healing liquid, as opposed to like cold water, which is like not even good for you. Ugh. The idea in Chinese medicine is that hot water will balance your qi and make you heal better, or just feel better, or just be better. It's really, really strange to me as a Westerner. Like, I just don't understand. But whatever, it's fine. But they'll say it for everything. Like, I was like, oh, I've thrown up twice and I don't feel so good, and like one of my bigger bosses was like, oh, have some hot water and take a nap. And I was like, okay. And it's like, some of my friends have had like some weird things. Like when I broke like a chest infection, like their doctor said, oh, have some hot water and this and that. And I remember hearing a story from like one YouTuber that I watched. He like kind of like broke his knee and it displaced, and they like put it back into place and told him to drink some hot water. And it's like, what is that going to do for my knee? What? So there's a lot of like hot water drinking that's going on. Yeah. But I've been having a blast. Like, everything's so kind of fun. If you're wondering how I'm recording this video, it's sort of like I had a GoPro strapped to my head and just rode to work. So this is the first of, I think 4 videos to work, and then there'll be like 4 more going back from work, because I go different ways, so you'll see like a big journey. Some of it will be interesting. There's a lot more scenery in this part than others. I'm pretty sure one's just like the open road, and that's not too interesting, but there'll be a lot to talk about. So yeah, money in China is crazy because I'm getting paid a lot, and like I can just buy anything like whenever, and it's just a really convenient place. Like, I can get food, any like restaurant, like ordered straight to my door. I can get anything ordered to my door, but mostly I don't. I like to go out and get it if I can. If not, then, you know, sadness. But I can always get it ordered. So. Riding a bike, as you've probably seen by now, some parts of the road are quite lawless. There's not a lot to do with obeying the law. You can ride on the wrong side of the road, basically. As long as you don't die or hit another car, you're fine. That's basically about it. I should really wrap this up because there's not long left of this clip. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. And stay tuned for part 2, where I'll talk about more China things. Maybe some like actual Chinese topics. This is just like the direction my channel is going from now. So I'm going to stop talking, and you can enjoy the last few seconds of writing.